Well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Lucore Automotive. Today, I gotta let you in a little secret. I've been hiding something from you. It's right there. But before I show you what that is, I gotta let you in on this little bit of a story. Bob McVay reached out to me about a month ago and asked whether or not I had anything for him to be able to drive at Pontiac Nationals this year, which is in the middle of July. And I said, well, technically no, not really, but we could probably get something ready for you. So that's what we're gonna do. Bob McVay is on board. We're gonna build something for Mr. Bob McVay to go racing himself at Pontiac Nationals. So, without any further ado, let me introduce to you my 1968 Pontiac LeMans project. There she is. Now, let's be honest, she's not complete. She's not great. But it's got good bones and we've got a good plan. So this car, as you will see, has been engine and transmission removed as of recently. It is a factory 350, factory turbo 350, 10-bolt Pontiac rear end, non-posi, but it is a bucket seat car, and it's reasonably all there. Floors aren't terrible, seats are there. I've got new floor pans for it, and I'm going to put a roof on it, and trunk in it, a new hood on it. Got a lot of things to do. It is middle of May right now. Actually, end of May, I guess, right now. And we've got to get this car ready to go for Pontiac Nationals in July, which means we have a lot of work to do. Now, a lot of this work, as of where she is right now, has been done on a side channel that I started in order to just show off my own little personal projects. If you're interested in seeing where that is, if you look for Automotive Adventures with Austin here on the YouTubes, you'll be able to find that channel. And that gets you up to essentially where we are right now with the car torn apart. Now our goal with this car is going to be to get it into the 12s, or more specifically a 12 flat. That's the idea. That's where Bob wants to be, is at a 12 flat. Now this car came with a Pontiac 350 in it. As you'll see on that other channel, we pulled that thing down, took it out of the car, pulled it down, and we've seen where we are with it. It is a Virgin 1971 Pontiac 350. The transmission that we thought was going to be reusable ended up not being reusable at all. So, right here is the block. And crank and pistons and rods are somewhere. I'm not going to reuse those. But the transmission, we ended up just throwing away because we've got Dion Vickers in our corner. So Dion is actually, as we speak, building me a new Pontiac 350 transmission for this project so that I am ready to rock and roll and go racing. We have not figured out a torque converter solution yet, but that'll be on the to-do list. However, we've got to get an engine build going. The plan is we are going to use that Pontiac 350 and some combination that is yet to be determined to be able to get that 1968 Pontiac LeMans into a 12 flat. I think it's doable. I think it's definitely possible. It's going to require a little bit of aggression to be able to get there, but I think it's going to be something interesting. And I don't want to say that I've been hiding this project from you guys. I haven't intentionally been doing that. We've been so busy with the shop and with what we do here, showing off customer stuff, that we just honestly haven't had a chance to be able to do any of the stuff that's something that you guys probably came here for, which is a lot of the projects that are ours. And this is a project that is going to kind of bounce back and forth. The majority of it's going to be on that other side channel, the Automotive Adventures with Austin. But there's some big stuff that we're going to be able to do on this channel, and we'll show you kind of as we go back and forth where that process is going, because that car is going to need a posi rear end, so obviously we're going to need to put a posi in it. So that Pontiac rear end is going to come apart, and that's going to be done. We're not entirely sure what gear we're going to go with at this point in time, so we haven't started that. But that's something you're going to see over here on the main channel. And it's something that we recognize that you guys want to do. You want to see us building our own stuff, not just customer stuff. And we're going to share with you guys as much of that as we possibly can. But the stuff that we can't post over here, we're going to post over on the other channel. So I'm excited to share this with you guys. It's been a long time since we built anything for ourselves being Rich and I. It's been the 1979 AMC Spirit AMX was the last thing that we really built of our own and showed for you guys. And everybody seemed to love that car. We're getting real close to Power Tour, and I've got to figure out my finalized plans for that. I don't think the AMX will be doing it this year, and I honestly don't think the 1970 LeMans will be doing it this year. I think I'm going to go a different direction with it. Now, one thing I do want to say in that regard, as far as with the AMX, is the plan is we are going to bring that car in and put it on the dyno with that AMC 304 that's currently in the car as it is, as you guys have seen me driving around for years. When we last tuned that car years ago at this point in time, we kind of ran out of time on the dyno and couldn't make things exactly right. So we made it kind of good enough and shipped down the road so I could get on the road with it and be able to enjoy the car. So what we're going to try to do is we're actually going to bring that car in, set it on the dyno, and tweak it as much as we possibly can to get it running just right with that 650 Brawler mechanical secondary carburetor that's on there. And then we're going to get the engine swap done. That engine swap has been sitting around for quite a long time. It's actually still sitting here right there on the floor. You see that? Yep, there we go. That is the max bore 304. For those of you who have been asking, that is the AMC 304 max bore, so it's bored out to 325 cubic inches. It does have AMC 360 heads on it. We've gotten a little aggressive with it. It should be pretty rowdy, should be pretty fun, but we want to get that 304 running that's in the car now before we swap over into this, so we can kind of compare apples to apples directly and see exactly how much power we pick up going to the 325 over the 304. So that is something that we will probably mostly do on the other channel. We are getting into very, very busy season here in the shop, which is great. We're super excited that so many people bring their vehicles for us to work on. But being able to highlight customers' projects and things that we do for our customers does make it tricky for us to be able to film and put out anything of our own stuff. So that's kind of the purpose of that other channel, is to be able to highlight some of the other things that we work on that are specifically our stuff. This Pontiac project is going to come together honestly pretty quickly. This video you're going to see on a Wednesday. I will be up at Bob McVay's. Actually, I'll walk up here to the front of the shop. Actually, before I walk up to the front of the shop, let me show you. I do have a brand new Edelbrock Torquer 2 intake manifold for it, as well as a set of Jegs long tube headers that we picked up. Uncle Terry upsold me on the set of headers that I wasn't planning on buying, but that's okay. Appreciated Uncle Terry and the guys at Jegs as always. But you're going to see this on a Wednesday probably, or a Thursday, depending on when you watch this. And I will have run these heads up to Bob McVay, and that's where we're going to start. The next piece of this is going to be to make sure that these heads are in good shape. Right here. Those are 1968 Pontiac 62 casting heads. Let's see there. And we have vapor honed and blasted these things, so they are about as clean of a set of heads as you're going to find from 1968. They are a mismatched set of heads. We did discover that recently. One has been worked, one is seemingly virgin. But we want to make sure that they're good so that we can actually reuse those heads. To kind of skip a couple steps here, these are small chamber, screw-in stud, big valve heads. So it's going to give me the maximum amount of airflow as well as be able to bump compression up on this motor. They would be essentially what you would have seen on a Pontiac 350 HO build from like 1968, 1969, would be basically those heads. So that's kind of what we're trying to build here. And I think it's going to be something that's going to be pretty interesting. I think it should be pretty cool. Anyway, I'm going to get those heads up to Bob, and he's going to check those heads, make sure that they're good. While he's doing what he does, I'm going to get this block torn down, cleaned up, thrown in the hot tank, and then I'll get the block and the crank up to Bob, and then we got to start making a plan as far as how we're going to do this. The question really becomes, Bob wants to do this as more of a bracket racer. He wants to be able to run a 12 flat bracket car. Well, I also want to be able to do that, but I would like to also be able to make this thing kind of a drag and drive vehicle, because that's really, in my mind, the way racing is going, where drag racing is typically going. And it's more fun when you have the ability to go race your car, have fun with it, get back in the car, go to the next track, do the next day, it's a lot more fun, it's a lot more involved. And I think it's something that myself, I know, or possibly Bob, if he wants to get into that world, could really enjoy. So I think that's the direction we're going to take this car. I think that's what we're looking to do. So it needs to be something we can drive on the street, and it needs to be something that can put down a consistent 12 flat, something like that. Now that's probably not going to be nitrous, and that's probably not going to be turbos. Those are typically not great ways to run a bracket car. So we're either going to do this with a bunch of compression and super rowdy camshaft and spin it to 6,500 or so, 7 grand, to be able to get the RPM, to get the horsepower, to be able to mile an hour this thing. Or we may go to some sort of a centrifugal supercharger setup, I guess, maybe. It's kind of all on the table at this point. The car itself is a reasonably decent car. It's not perfect, but it's also something I think could turn into a pretty fun little drag car. And I think Bob and I both could have a really good time with this. And I'll be honest, I'm excited to give Bob a chance to be able to get out there and have some fun, and not just be the one that's doing all the hard work without getting to play with any of the toys. You can see the roof has a little bit to be desired. There's, yeah, we'll talk about that at another date. But I thought it was high time to be able to make a video and show you guys this little hidden gem that's been back here in the back of the shop for, I'll be honest, I think 5 years, maybe 6, that I've owned this car, and it's been sitting back here waiting for its chance to be able to be cool. I did originally buy this car as a vehicle that I was going to turn into a drag car, or a drag and drive car, either one. And then the 455 in the 1970 Pontiac decided it wanted a bunch of attention and money. And then this car is basically just kind of sat back here in the backyard. But the project is going as we speak. I should have a transmission back from Vickers here very shortly, so that'll solve that question. I can get the rear end redone. I can get the drive shaft put in. I'm going to need to do brakes on it. It's already got new steering on it. Probably figure out a suspension solution with for what's in it. It does have a set of kind of crappy coils and tubular control arms that were just like some eBay specials that I bought. I'm not sure whether or not I'll run those or not. We're still real up in the air at this point in time. So if you're interested in this, if you've got any feedback on what it takes to push a full-size GM A-body with a 350 Pontiac into a 12 flat, you got some ideas, lay it on us. I'm interested. Let me know, because I'm a little bit new to this, and I'm interested in doing it right. And I want to be able to enjoy it, and I want Bob to be able to enjoy it, because I think this is going to be a really cool project. So there you go. My heart is open. I'm no longer hiding anything from you. This is the 1968 Pontiac LeMans project. Hopefully you guys are going to be interested in it. As I said, the other channel is Automotive Adventures with Austin, and you're going to be able to see a bunch of the other stuff as far as where we are. They got us to this point. If you want to go back and watch all that stuff, great, go right ahead. Any time you spend on those videos is much appreciated. It's going to help me pay for the bills for this thing, which are adding up quickly. So there you go, guys. I hope you enjoy it. Thanks for letting me bare my soul here and clear my conscience with you. I hope you're not upset with me for hiding this one from you, but there she is. Ain't she a beaut, Clark? I hope you guys are going to be interested in this, and I look forward to sharing the experience with you. I will be at or on Power Tour this year, in whatever it is I end up driving. I'm going to be at the AMC, Great AMC Days. Then down at Edgewater, I've got another event that's going to be in Dublin that's going to be AMC stuff. And then we've got Pontiac Nationals also, that's the second week of July. So, oh, and Good Guys coming up. So this is going to be a very, very busy couple of months. But we need to get that thing done. That's #1 project. And then Got a few more projects already lined up. So thanks for watching, guys. Hope to see you over on the other channel. Hope you guys enjoyed the update on things. Hope you're doing great. Enjoy your weekend. Happy Memorial Day, by the way, if I don't see you between now and then. Take care.